Hey, what's up guys, 01 here, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about Star Trek, the JJ Abrams reboot. Well, what can I say about Star Trek? I've been a big fan of Star Trek since, way back, since I was a little kid. I was very, how can I put it, maybe not a Trekker, but I loved The Next Generation. That was one of my favorite crews and cast. I wasn't a big fan of the original cast, but I do appreciate what they did there, and I also appreciate what Gene Roddenberry brought to the audience, brought to TV, and also to film, because there's certain things that Star Trek gets right, and there's certain things that they need to work on. Now, this is being done by this film, Star Trek, which is directed by JJ Abrams, is a reboot of the original cast, which had, Spock, Uhura, Chekhov, J.C. Kirk. It was basically bringing those characters up to speed, or if not to the modern audience. So he did a real great job in capturing the fun of Star Trek, capturing the beautiful cinematography that he did was also very well done, because it was different. It really felt like a really kinetic, real fast-paced film, but in a very well done way, not in a very like cut, zoom in, zoom out, cut, zoom in, zoom out. It wasn't that. It was more like Black Hawk Down. I mean, the film starts off like a Black Hawk Down film, man. I mean, like, you're like, what? The Narada, the ship from the future, appears right in front of the U.S. Kelvin, and bam, action just starts. And I just loved everything. I loved the way the response of the crew of the Kelvin, and how they're being attacked, and they're outnumbered basically, because you have a big giant ship just taking down this ship, this small little one. And that scene just brought me into the film. I was like, whoa, now I never seen this done in Star Trek, in any of the Star Trek films, and this was just like, this is like fast. So a scene where they're, I think, space jumping, where they're jumping from a small little ship and going into the platform of the Narada. That was awesome. I just had a ball with that. I was like, whoa, that is so cool. And then out of nowhere, Chekhov, Olsen is gone, sir. And I was like, oh yeah, he's gone. He's long gone. So JJ Abrams did a real good job in that. He brought also some really great talented actors. Everybody delivered in the characters that they had to perform, because one thing is that since these characters have already been done before, it's very easy to get carbon copies, especially, or get to just mimic the original cast. And everybody did a good, like, what's his name, Urban, who did McCoy, great. There are certain parts of him being McCoy from the original series, but the Dr. Bones is just how can I put it? He brought a little bit more to the Dr. Bones, or not Bones, but everybody calls him Bones because he's always upset or angry, and he just wants to like beat people up. One thing that surprised me was Chris Pine, because Chris Pine, he didn't do the whole William Shatner, voice pattern. He did his own voice, but he had the essence of James T. Kirk. He understood the character. He understood how he thought, or what would he do at that point in time. So Chris Pine delivered an amazing job. Zachary Quinto, his Spock was like dead on. It was just good. I know, since it's an alternative reality, because of the whole ship coming back from the future, it changes everything. But Spock was, just Spock. I mean, he was Spock from the original series, but it was different in a sense that he had emotions, and he was allowing those emotions to basically dictate his decisions. And especially with his relationship with a certain crew member. And I was kind of like, and I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, whoa, Spock is in cahoots with one of the crew members? That doesn't sound, I don't ever remember, Spock being in that type of relationship. What was it? Zoe Saldana did also a really good job with Uhura. She really delivered that spunky type of Uhura, because before in the original series, Uhura was basically a communication officer, and she really didn't do as much. But this time, she's doing a pretty good amount of stuff, you know, and that's awesome. And thank you so much, JJ Abrams, for that. What else can I say? The action is awesome. It's flawless. I loved it. It was very colorful. I can definitely say that about Star Trek. It was very, very colorful. The lens flares were all over the place. I mean, it brought the whole thing about, you know, the future really, really coming out of the screen and into your home or into the theaters. Kind of like the future was so massive, so amazing that it's just, you know, trying to come out of the screen and into your living room or into your wherever you watched the film the first time. So JJ Abrams and his crew did a real good job. What was it? The only negatives I can say about the Star Trek is there are certain parts or certain scenes in the film where it made zero sense. Where I was just like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, there's this one scene where, I mean, it's later specified, and if you get the DVDs or the Blu-ray, and you know the director JJ Abrams speaks to the audience, it says, well, this is what we were planning when we first started the film, but we didn't, you know, have enough time, or we decided to go a different route. But Nero, the character Nero, I understand his point of view. I understand his goal, and to save his people by, you know, taking out the people that were supposed to be there to help the Romulans, basically. You know, he felt betrayed. He's like, what? I mean, you were supposed to be there for my family, especially my unborn child, which is dead. So you kind of understand his motivation. He's kind of like this redneck Romulan. That's one of the things I noticed. I was like, man, he's like from any other Romulan. This guy's like a redneck. You know? So what was it? Eric Bana did a good job in bringing that character to life. He was kind of like a character that you kind of understand his pain. You kind of you not understood, but you kind of, you know, said, well, I can picture him, you know, doing the things that he's doing, going around destroying planets. But like I said, there are certain things that I didn't understand. For example, Nero flying through space for 25 years waiting for Spock to appear. That just didn't make sense, because how can you be in space for 25 years and not be noticed by anybody? Neither the Federation or the Klingons or the Romans or anything like that. And why would a crew be following a madman like Nero if, I mean, they have a real powerful ship? I mean, they could actually go and you know, take out the entire Federation. To me, it was pointless and useless. I would have loved if the director, JJ Abrams, would actually show Nero being, you know, in prison and his crew being in prison, because we understood, oh, okay, for the past, you know, 25 years, he was in prison, and we understood that, you know, he's barely got out of prison and he's going out. And it's faintly spoken about in the Star Trek film. It really is faintly spoken about that, you know, the Romans were attacked by a big, giant, massive ship. But since the whole film is fast paced, if you're not paying attention, you're just gonna, you know, it's gonna fly by you. Another thing that I didn't understand is that, you know, the only way Kirk could actually beat the Kobayashi Maru is, you know, hooking up with a green woman, you know, going to her place and, you know, doing the whole wild monkey dance. To me, I just feel like, come on, man. It was just another ploy, another reason for the writers or directors to see, you know, have naked woman. So I would have loved that to just be taken out from the film. And actually, I would love it to be a little bit more cerebral, a little bit more like, you know, James T. Kirk actually being in his class and you know, training different combat styles, you know, doing different things within Starfleet or the Academy, and him growing as the captain of, or the future captain of the Enterprise. And we kind of seen that little glimpse of James T. Kirk, the ones from the original series, kind of seeing that, oh, okay, we kind of see him where he's heading, or what type of man he's going to be. That would have been awesome. And him cheating the Kobayashi Maru, it would have been awesome if we just kind of like hacked into it. kind of showed his skills as a computer, genius, or if not, before, the day that he had to do the Kobayashi Maru, he could have actually just snuck in there and done a little bit of, wiring changes or something like that. And next thing you know, he wins a Kobayashi Maru instead of, going through the whole scene of him being in a dark room with a green woman. I just felt like it was pointless, basically. And what else? I also didn't like about the strange creature that comes out in that planet where Spock Prime, where James Kirk was being left there by Spock, the younger version of Spock. That planet where it was kind of like a moon or something like that. It was close to Vulcan, so Spock Prime could have seen this entire planet being destroyed. I just felt like that creature, that big giant red creature, you could have changed it to something else, because that big giant red creature would have eaten, James T. Kirk like that. Because you look at the strength of that thing, it would have, eaten real quick. And another thing is that since it already captured a prey and it, destroyed it or killed it, wouldn't it eat that first and then go after James T. Kirk? But I don't know why JJ Abrams decided to do that. That was his call. What else did I really just felt like it was just off, like certain things just didn't make sense. Was, yes, another thing that really made sense was being captain of a starship. Instead of sending some crew members with Spock, you yourself go into the Narada and face off Nero, which his entire crew's there. I mean, it's you and Spock, and that's it. You don't have any backup. I mean, I would have loved to see a little bit of red shirts come out behind, James T. Kirk or Spock, and go in like Black Hawk Down mode, like get down, blah, 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 blah. I would love to see something like that, but no, it's two Starfleet guys who just go into a place that they don't even know, and they're getting shot out, and somehow they survive. That to me, it was just kind of like, man, I would love to see a little bit more of a dynamics of the crew being involved in the plans of taking over the Narada, or if not, saving Starfleet, or saving planet Earth. I would love to see more of that instead of just Spock and Kirk facing off an entire Romulan mining crew. But there's that scene where it comes out where the crew finally, the Enterprise appears and backs up Spock, and Spock's in that jelly type of ship, and it got real good. That scene was very, very well done, and I loved it. So what can I say? Star Trek is a very fun film. There were certain scenes that I could have just fast forward, and I was just like, well, it was pointless. I don't recommend to a 13-year-old, 12-year-old at all, because like I said, there's certain scenes in there like it just doesn't make sense. Or if this doesn't make sense, it just, disrespects women. Like somehow green women are very willing to go to bed with any man. So that's one of the things that was a negative of the film. Another negative is just Nero flying around the entire, space for 25 years waiting for Spock. That's another thing that just does not make sense. What else didn't make sense? Another thing that didn't make sense is how does young Kirk, who is 11 or 12 years old, knows how to drive a standard car from like the 20th century. I mean, you're talking about like a 1960s, 1950 car, and I just didn't buy that. And I was like, how can this kid know how to drive a car, a standard car, and somehow him surviving that whole fall with the car? I really didn't buy into that. But other than that, it's a very exciting film. It's a very fast-paced film. You have to pay attention to what's going on, because if you just miss a couple of dialogues, you'll be like, what just happened? So, but yeah, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to my ideas or whatever. Thank you so much, subscribers. God bless you, and Jesus is King. Later. Peace to the Middle East, because they need it.